Good morning, everyone. Hi, thanks for joining me this morning. I would love to have a comment from you if you're here with me this morning. We're going to be talking about tapping for panic attacks. And if you just type a little comment in the comments section and let me know that you're here, I'd appreciate it. While we're doing the session, you can feel free to type in any questions or concerns or comments that you have, and I will answer them as soon as I have a break in whatever I'm doing. So please keep the comments and questions coming, and I'll get to all of them. First, I want to introduce myself. My name's Liz Fisher, and from tapintohealth.net is my business name. I'm so excited. Sheena's here. I'm just going to respond here. I'm so glad I have some people here with me this morning. So I am currently in certification for EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. I am being trained by Master Trainer Betsy Muller. She is local in my Cleveland area. She's certified through AMET, and I will be certified through AMET, which just changed their name to EFT International about a month ago, just so it's easier for people to find them online. They are a nonprofit. Their website is eftinternational.org, and they are the highest and best gold standard technique of EFT that you want to be trained in. There are other ways and places online that you can get certified, but this is the highest and best, the original technique that was invented back in the 70s by Gary Craig and has been in use since. These are the standards that I'm being taught. So I will be certified within a month or so. So I'm just nearing the end of my certification process, and I am allowed to practice during the certification as long as I have insurance, which I do. So after our session here today, if you're interested in working with me, you can go to my website at tapintohealth.net, and there's a section to sign on to. You could just register to have a informational phone call with me. And oh, Mary's here. Hi, Mary. And we can have a little phone conversation and chat and hopefully get to work together in the future. So that's available as well, and you can actually schedule right online on my website. So any other questions before we start? I will get started then. So if you are not familiar with EFT, or you've heard of it but you've never done it, it is super easy. You can use it for anything. We just happen to be using it for panic attacks today. It's something I'm familiar with. It's something I've had in the past and have been able to control using tapping. And tapping is accessing acupressure points, which are used in Chinese medicine, have been for centuries. They are along the lines of your meridians, where your energy flows in and out and of your body, and we tap on these points in order to get the energy flowing in the right direction. So hopefully we can unstick whatever negative emotions or feelings that you're having around a specific event or emotion or aspect that you want to change. So these points are really simple. We tap between 5 and 7 times on each tapping point, acupressure point, and you don't have to count. It's just kind of what you feel comfortable doing. And we start on the side of the hand. This is called the karate chop point. You can use either hand. You can use any amount of fingers, and you apply gentle pressure but firm pressure on this area. And we start here. We'll do a setup statement 3 times, which I will guide you through. And once we've done that setup statement 3 times, then we will move to the top of our head. Then the eyebrow points, which are right where your eyebrow starts. You can use as many fingers as you need there. The side of the eye, which is the orbital bone You want to be touching that orbital bone, not your temple here where it's kind of fleshy. You want this bone here. You'll also then tap underneath your eye where the orbital bone is, under your nose, your chin point. Then you'll tap on your collarbone points, which some people find these hard to find. So if you just stretch your arms out and bend at the elbows, you can find them real easily. They're right here. You'll be on your collarbone. And then the last point is under your arms, which for women, it's like under your bra strap area. Anywhere in this vicinity is fine, kind of like right where your bra wire would be on your bra. So those are the tapping points. It's that simple. And we can use tapping, you can use tapping during an episode of panic, before an episode of panic, and any other time in between. It works any way you want to use it. But I think that I'm going to pretend that we're in a panic attack at the moment, and what we're trying to do is get our intensity around panic way down. So tapping works by reducing cortisol in your brain, which your amygdala, which is the lower back part of your brain, is where your fight or flight response is, like your adrenaline. So when you are anxious or in a scary state of panic, that cortisol level goes very high and causes that anxious feeling. So the tapping on these points. Oh, Eve is here. Let's say hi to Eve. Thanks for joining us. When you tap, you reduce that cortisol level in your brain, and there are studies that prove that this is actually happening. There's there are also hundreds of published medical studies in medical journals using this tapping technique for PTSD, for panic, for anxiety, for childhood traumas, for anything really you can think of. But recently there's a study by Dr. Peta Stapleton. She is based in Australia, and she did an actual MRI of a patient and showed the brain prior to tapping, and then did another MRI after certain rounds of tapping, and how the brain chemistry changed. So it's proven. You can actually see it on an MRI. So the cortisol levels do reduce, and the chemistry of your brain is changed while doing this. So with that said, unless anyone has any questions, we'll get started, and we'll rate our feelings. So we're going to pretend that we're in a panic. How about, let's see. Let's use an example of mine. One of my places that I have a panic attack sometimes, rarely, but sometimes, is in bed at night. I'm thinking about things I need to do the next day, or one of my kids is sick and I'm wondering if they're going to wake up in the middle of the night, or I feel like maybe I'm getting sick, or something like that will make me panic. Mostly it's probably I can't turn my brain off. So that feeling that I tend to get, which is probably similar to what you would get in a panic situation, is the feeling of a racing heart, pins and needles in my fingertips, like I'm gonna pass out, like I might throw up, like it's kind of like I feel like everything just washes over me, like there's a wave of anxious energy. I just feel awful. So and during that you can tap while it's going on. So let's start by giving ourselves a number. So during that panic attack, I'd say that I'm pretty scared. I mean, I'm like an 8 or a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10, where the emotions are really heightened and I'm upset about the panic and scared. So we're trying to get our level down to, our number down to a 0. So we're going to start tapping and we're going to check in after every few rounds and see how we feel. So you can do this for yourself. You can decide that you're going to change the words to associate it with something that is real and true for you. I'm just going to have to do it for this because it's something that I'm familiar with. And when we're tapping, we like to have our feet flat on the floor because our energy grounds out through our feet and back into the earth. So it's, be sitting up, have your feet flat on the floor if you can, and we'll begin. So I'm going to say I'm at my level of intensity is around a 7 or an 8, and I'm in the middle of a panic attack. So even though, you repeat after me, I'm having this panic attack and I feel awful and I'm scared, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this tingling feeling in my fingers and this overall sick feeling in my body, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though panicking is really scary to me. What if I don't feel safe? What if someone can't help me? What if I die? What if I throw up? What if I pass out? What if I'm alone? I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. Even though I'm scared and I don't know what to do because I feel like, am I having a stroke? Why is my body feeling tingly and numb? I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Top of the head. These anxious, panicky feelings. Make sure you're breathing and keeping your eyes open during this. The eyebrow points. I feel so out of control. Side of the eyes. I feel anxious and my heart is racing. Under the eyes. I'm upset. This is so scary. Under the nose. When will this stop? I just want it to go away. The chin. I'm so scared. My heart is racing. It feels like I'm going to pass out. Collarbone points. This is so upsetting to me. I just want it to go away. I feel out of control. Under the arms. I feel so out of control and scared. And anxious. Top of the head. I don't like this feeling. My fingers are tingling. Why is this happening to me? These tingling fingers. This rapid heartbeat. This feeling of uneasiness. I feel like I'm going to die. Why is this happening to me? I don't feel safe. And then I like to stop after a few rounds and tap hit my wrists together kind of to close that round out. And so we'll stop there for a second and we'll take a deep breath in. And I want you to notice the intensity that you feel around those feelings that we just tapped on. Are your fingers still tingling? Do you still feel sick to your stomach? Are you more anxious than when we started? Which can be the case sometimes. That's not abnormal. If your number goes from a 7 to a 10, then you need to keep going and just tap the points without words until you feel like you've calmed down. And now I'm noticing that my body is less tense. I don't know how I'm going to say that I'm at a 6 instead of a 7, or instead of an 8. I'm at a 6, but I still feel like a very racing heart. So I'm going to tap on that. I'm going to do just that physical sensation. I feel this. You can give it a color even if you want. I feel like a red racing heartbeat that just won't stop. So let's tap on that. Even though I have this racing heartbeat, it's upsetting. It feels hot and red to me in color. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this racing heart and it scares me, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm having a panic attack and I feel uncomfortable and scared and I have a racing heart, I deeply and completely love and accept myself right now. Don't forget to breathe. This racing heart. I feel sick and weak. I want this racing heart to calm down. I don't feel safe. This racing heart, this rapid heartbeat that I'm experiencing right now, this uneasy feeling that I'm experiencing because my heart is racing, this upset feeling that my body is not, something's not right. This racing heartbeat, this uncomfortable feeling, this sickening feeling that I'm having, this panicked feeling that I'm having, this red racing heartbeat that won't slow down, this upsetting panic feeling. It makes me feel uneasy. This out of control feeling that my heart is making me feel. This racing heartbeat. I'm feeling out of control. This racing heart. So we can stop there for a minute, and it's always good to have some water with you because you move a lot of energy. Even though it doesn't seem like we're doing anything here, there is a lot of energy moving and flowing, and sometimes you'll get tingling in different spots of your body while we're working. That's your energy moving, and that's good. Sometimes you'll yawn. I have a lot of clients that will yawn. That's also energy moving. So I'm not I'm not disheartened that you're yawning during my sessions because I know what I'm doing is working. But it's good to have a glass of water, take frequent drinks, and make sure you're breathing. And then let's take a deep breath and check back in. And we're just going to focus on our heartbeat now and how that feels. Did that change at all? And I'm going to say yes, I do feel different. I feel more calm. I'd probably give it a rating of a 4. It's still slightly fluttery, but not as upsetting. But I do feel kind of like maybe a lightheadedness going on. So I think I'm going to tap about the lightheadedness feeling that I have. So even though I'm feeling lightheaded now, and it's still making me panic, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this lightheaded feeling like my head's not attached to my body, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm scared, I don't want to have this panic feeling. I don't feel safe. And now I have this lightheaded feeling. I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. I'm lightheaded. I feel dizzy. I feel panicked. This lightheadedness. This out of sorts feeling in my head. This dizziness that I'm feeling. This lightheadedness in my head. This uneasy feeling. This sensation in my head. This unfocused kind of disengaged feeling in my head. This lightheadedness. Oh, this lightheadedness. This dizzy feeling. This uneasy feeling in my head. This lightheadedness that I'm experiencing. This tingling sensation that I'm experiencing in my head. This lightheadedness. Okay, we can stop there for a minute. Take a deep breath in and check in on your number. And I feel like something really happened there in that session because, in that round, because I felt the energy kind of moving up and out of my head, which is not an uncommon feeling to feel. So I really feel like, I don't know, I don't have a rapid heartbeat. I don't have a tingling in my head or a lightheadedness anymore. I'd say I'm like at a 2 for intensity with that feeling of panic. So once we get pretty low, I mean, we're looking to be a 0 here before we even move to a different aspect or a specific event that happened to you that is upsetting. We want to get to a 0. So if you're feeling pretty good, you can do some positive affirmations at this point, as long as you're like a 3 or below, 4 at maybe, if you're not feeling upset or really intense about something and your physical symptoms have pretty much gone away. We can do a round of positive tapping. So let's start with this setup statement. Even though I had this panic attack, I'm feeling better that it's over. And I lived. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I had this feeling of panic for a little bit there, it's over and I was able to get through it. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I was panicked for a little bit, I chose to tap, and I was able to get through it. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I'm feeling better. I chose to tap. I chose to not let my feelings upset me to the point of no return. I feel so much better. I'm giving myself a pat on the back for getting through that. I feel safe right now in the environment that I'm in. I'm allowed to feel safe. I'm giving myself permission to feel safe during a panic attack. It's just a small moment in time that I know how to get through now. I don't have to be scared. I'm safe. I'm choosing to be safe. I'm choosing that even if I have a panic attack, I know how to get through it. And I know that I'm going to be safe and protected by using EFT. I'm thrilled that I can get on with my day now, and I feel so much better. And now I'm relaxed and calm, and I survived. I'm giving myself a pat on the back for being able to get through it. So we can stop there and take a deep breath and notice how you're feeling physically and mentally and emotionally, and if there's any intensity left around your original feelings that we talked about when we started. And I don't feel anything. I feel clear-minded and fine. So I'm going to give that a 0. I really feel like I was able to tap myself through that panic and come out on the other side okay. So before we move on, does anyone have any questions for me about what we just did? Sometimes it takes a minute if you type something for me to receive it, so I'll give it a few seconds here. So that was an example of tapping during a panic attack. You can also tap about a specific event that happened to you where you had a panic attack. And that is, can bring up some intense emotions around having a panic attack, because you don't want to have one again in that same situation. So what I think the next thing we're going to do is tap for an upcoming thing that we think we might have a panic attack about, or that we've had a panic attack about in the past. So this could be anything for you. I mean, it could be you have a fear of flying, you have a fear of being in a room full of people with a closed door. You could have fear of giving a presentation in front of a group of people because you've had a panic attack before. So I kind of like that one. Let's use that one. So let's pretend you have an upcoming presentation that you have to give in front of hundreds of colleagues. And the last time you had to do this, you were sick and you had a panic attack on stage, and you can't even remember what you were even saying because you felt like you weren't even inside your body during that panic attack. But you somehow survived and lived to tell about it, and it was awful, and you never want to go on stage and give a presentation again. So just thinking about that past event probably brings up a ton of uncomfortable feelings, not feeling safe, feeling out of control, feeling embarrassed that you don't want someone to say something or see that you're having this panic attack, or will they know, or will you pass out and someone will have to call an ambulance while you're on stage, and it would just be the worst thing. You can't think of anything worse than this. So thinking of that situation, you can give it a number, and I'd say, I don't know, I'd give that like a 7. I mean, that sounds awful and I don't want to do that, and I'm dreading it, and it's in a few days. I'm giving this presentation, and it's going to be awful. What if it happens again? So let's tap about this upcoming presentation. So even though I have to give this speech in front of a bunch of my colleagues in a few days, and the last time I did this, I had a terrible panic attack, and now I'm afraid to do this again in case I have the same reaction. I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. Even though I have this event coming up in a few days and I'm prepared for it, but the thought of it is giving me horrible, anxious feelings in my stomach, and I feel like I could panic now, even though I'm not in front of the group of people that I'm giving the presentation to. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. All these feelings of panic and these unsure feelings that I'm having, that things could be out of control when I'm up there on stage in a few days, they make me uneasy, and I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. These feelings of panic. What if I have another panic attack when I'm presenting for work? What will I do? I'm having a panic attack during the presentation. What if I pass out? I feel sick already just thinking about it. Oh, this sick feeling in my stomach. These anxious feelings about giving a presentation. This sick feeling that it could happen again. This scared feeling of not being safe. The feeling that I could embarrass myself. What if someone had to take me off stage in a stretcher? How embarrassing that would be. The embarrassment. That's what makes me feel panicky. If I embarrass myself because I lose control. I'm afraid to lose control. I'm afraid to be embarrassed in front of my colleagues. I'm afraid to lose control in front of my colleagues. So let's stop there for a second, because while I was doing that, and you guys can check in with yourselves too, I really felt that the issue was that I was afraid to be embarrassed. It's the embarrassment that makes me feel most panicked, that people would talk about me and I would be embarrassed. So I feel like my number is probably a little bit lower. It's probably like a 5, but the thought of embarrassment is more relevant for me now than the actual giving of the presentation. I guess I'm not afraid to give the presentation. I'm afraid to be embarrassed while I'm giving the presentation. So saying that I'm like a 5 now, I'm going to tap just on the embarrassment. Even though I have a fear of embarrassment while I'm giving this presentation in a few days to my colleagues. I deeply and completely love and accept myself right now. Even though there's this feeling of fear and deep inside me in my stomach, it gives me butterflies that I could embarrass myself in front of my colleagues. I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. Even though I have this horrible, anxious feeling about embarrassing myself in front of my colleagues, I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. This feeling that I could embarrass myself, it's so upsetting to think about. I don't want to embarrass myself in front of my colleagues. I don't want to lose control of my body while I'm on stage. I don't want to be embarrassed. This feeling in my stomach of possibly being embarrassed. What would people think of me if I passed out during my presentation? I feel extremely anxious about being embarrassed. I don't like that feeling. I don't want to feel embarrassed or shame. It's upsetting to me. And I don't want people to think badly of me. What if people made fun of me if I lost control? What if I couldn't remember what I was talking about up there because I was panicking and people laughed at me? What if I couldn't speak? I just froze when I got on stage. People could laugh and I'd be embarrassed. And that's my fear of embarrassment in front of people. I don't want to feel embarrassed. I refuse to feel embarrassed. Okay, let's stop there. For a second, take a deep breath in. And get a sip of water. Let me know if you have any questions. I know this is not specific to what you're probably going through, but you can adjust it anytime or adjust it during this to fit what your needs are. So when I check back in, I feel I feel way less anxious, actually. I feel maybe like a 3, because now I feel like it's almost silly to think that someone would laugh at me, or, I mean, these people are my colleagues and my friends, and I think they'd be sympathetic towards me if something like that happened. And they definitely wouldn't make fun of me, and I don't really have any reason to feel anxious about that. I don't feel anxious about that anymore. So, yeah, I feel like that's like a 2 or a 3, and maybe I can do some positive tapping now on it being okay that I still feel a little bit anxious, but my colleagues will accept me either way, and that I feel confident that I can get up there and do this presentation. And so let's do some of that. Okay, so even though I was anxious and worried before, and I do have to give this presentation in a few days, I am feeling more confident. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. Even though I was having these feelings of anxiousness and the possibility that my colleagues could make fun of me if I had a panic attack, I don't really have that anymore. I think it's silly. They would feel concerned for me. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself right now. Even though I was having these anxious feelings about giving this presentation to a group of colleagues, I feel more calm now. I really do. I feel like I'm in control of the situation. And I'm choosing to be in control of the situation, whatever may happen. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I'm choosing to have confidence and go into this presentation feeling good about myself and what I have to say. I'm fully prepared, and I know I am. My colleagues want to listen to what I have to say, and I'm choosing not to panic about it because there's no reason. I'm choosing to accept whatever happens during that time of my presentation. Whether I feel anxious or calm, it's going to be okay. And I'm allowing myself to let it be okay. My colleagues are sympathetic. Whatever happens, it's going to be okay. I know what I'm doing, and I'm excited to do it. I'm looking forward to doing it. This presentation is going to be my best one yet. I deserve to have confidence. I deserve to not feel anxious. And I deserve to know that my colleagues will support me no matter what. I am confident about my presentation. I'm going to nail it. It's going to be the best one ever. I deserve to give this presentation without any anxiety because I know what I'm talking about and I'm prepared. I'm choosing to go into this feeling very confident and not anxious. And I'll tap before I go on stage to give my presentation and take some deep breaths and know that I'm going to be fine. So let's stop there and take a deep breath. And can you tell how my demeanor totally changed about, being positive about it, how I'm smiling now, everything looks like $1 million. I don't look like I'm gonna pass out and die. So it's really the work that we're doing. It really does change the way our emotions are around a specific event or aspect of something. It doesn't have to be panic, it could be anything. But I'm wondering if anyone has any questions for me. And I'd be happy to answer anything I can. And just so you know, I am available for a discounted rate to work with you until I am certified. Once I'm certified, my rate will go up. I'm charging $60 an hour at this point for my services, and I have some openings currently during the week, Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesday mornings. I can also do evening times if that works better for you. You can visit my website and see this video again. There's also a video up on emetophobia, which is the fear of vomiting or the stomach flu that I did a live presentation for a few weeks back. That is also available. You can tune into my YouTube channel, Liz Fisher, and see these as well. They'll be posted there. So if there's something that you missed or you want to go back, later today, the video will be there. And I hope that this has helped you, or at least exposed you to what EFT is capable of helping you with. And unless anyone has anything, I don't see any questions. I really appreciate everyone being here today. And I hope to do these monthly with a different topic. And if there's anything that you specifically want to see me tap on, just send me an email. My email is liz@tapintohealth.net. You can go to my website and everything's there. You could submit an email to me right on my website, and or on my Facebook page at Tap Into Health, or you can follow me on Instagram at Tap Into Health LLC, and let me know what I can do for you and how I can help. This tapping has been a life changer for me, and I'm working on helping other people change their lives too. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I appreciate you taking the time this morning to be with me. And I hope you'll tap. So happy tapping and have a great day. Take care.